Hello, everybody. Dr. Lonnie Stewart here from the Healthcare Education Transformation Podcast. Are you a physical therapy student about to start studying for the National Physical Therapy Examination? Or maybe you're a professor, a program director, or clinical instructor who teaches DPT students preparing for the NPTE? Either way, we would recommend checking out our sponsor, NPTE Final Frontier, and the community they've built around preparing for and succeeding on the NPTE. That exam and the preparation that goes along with it can be long, tedious, difficult, and stress inducing, but it doesn't have to be. NPTE Final Frontier has the tactics and resources to help address all of the usual barriers. They even have scholarships to help with NPTE study courses, FSBPT registration fees, and even research opportunities. And if that's not enough, they're even donating to the very first annual HET Podcast Scholarship to be awarded at the end of every year. Go to npteff.com for all of the details and use code HET for 10% off all purchases. Links to both the NPTE Final Frontier and their scholarship options are available in the show notes. And now, let's get ready to learn.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Teach Me Something Tuesday episode of the Healthcare Education Transformation Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. F. Scott Feil, and today's episode is a quick one. It's an easy one. It's something that I learned to do very early on in my career, and I felt like it was helpful. So I hope it'll be helpful for you as well. This one is all about reviewing at the end of your class, right? So an end of class review. I've liked to basically just try to take 5 minutes at the end of each class and really ask students to summarize the ideas that were presented during that class, right? Maybe try to solve like a sample problem or just apply some of the information that they learned that day to a new situation, or even just write their reactions to that day's class. A lot of times, if you're short on time, you can kind of have them do that on like on an index card and then just hand it into an empty box or something on the way out, right? Or leave it on the front desk on the way out, that kind of thing. One of the other things that I found pretty helpful too is going around the room and having everybody stand up and answer a question. What's one thing you learned from today? What's one major takeaway that you learned from today? And the other option then, after they've done that, I like to generally have them stand back up again and go back the other direction and say, what's one thing that confused you today or that you felt like you did not understand from today's lesson? Or what's one thing that needs some more reviewing? Because that helps a lot of reasons. One that helps, it helps me just learn what I didn't teach very well or what was confusing, especially if you're starting to hear the same thing a couple different times. But two, it helps the students to take a minute and pause and reflect and think back about things they learned and understood already and feel good about, and things maybe they didn't that they still need some help with. So I hope that you'll take this really short, sweet end of the day, end of the class review session and implement it to the best of your ability. And we will see you on the next one.
Well, I hope that episode was entertaining as much as it was informational and educational. If you enjoyed this episode or any of our past episodes, we ask you to please subscribe to the podcast and leave us a rating and review. And please share out the episodes to those who you feel may be able to benefit from them. We also urge you to follow us on all social media platforms at HET Podcast and let us know what topics or experts you would like to hear from in future episodes. And just as a reminder, none of the information on today's show should be considered medical advice. It's simply infotainment or edutainment to help educate our audience. For medical advice, we always advise you to reach out to your preferred medical professionals, and we'll see you on the next show.